Welcome to 6 and 6, where we cover 6 stories from around the world in 6 minutes or less. With that said, start your timer. Starting in the south of Africa, Namibia is starting a project with the backing of a Chinese firm to provide more solar power to the nation. This will be the largest project of its size inside of Namibia. From Reuters, quote, "The South African country is a net importer of electricity, relying on the neighboring Zambia and South Africa for power. But the plant will add 100 megawatts to the current total installed power capacity of roughly 500 megawatts. The plant will help stabilize future electricity tariff increases, support Namibia's economic growth, and promote environmental sustainability," Kenjer Hufu, NamPower managing director, said in a statement. End of quote. Funding is coming in part from NamPower, but also a majority is coming from a development bank based out of Germany. Turning to North America, a class action lawsuit has begun where parents have grown concerned about the amount of microplastics released by baby bottles produced by 2 American companies. From Reuters, quote, "Handicraft and another baby bottle maker, Philips North America, are each facing proposed class actions claiming they failed to warn parents that the polypropylene bottles and cups sold under the brands Philip Advent and Handicraft's Dr. Brown's, when heated as part of regular use, could expose infants to tiny flecks of plastics that could interfere with their digestive, reproductive, and immune systems. Both companies have moved to dismiss the claims against them." End quote. Lawyers from both companies have argued that microplastics are an unavoidable environmental hazard, and lawyers for the parents have argued that their clients were not informed on the potential risks. To Vietnam, where the country is facing the massive fallout of a typhoon which has hit the north of the country. So far, 240 people have been injured, and authorities are searching for citizens who were lost in the collapse of a bridge. From BBC, quote, "Dash cam footage shows the moment the Pung Chau Bridge in Pao To province gave way on Monday, plunging several vehicles into the water below. Searches are underway for the 13 people. Vietnam's most powerful storm in 30 years has wreaked havoc across the north of the country, leaving 1.5 million people without power," end quote. Vietnam was not the only country to be hit, though, with nearby China and the Philippines also dealing with the fallout of the storm. As we look to the south, Australia is attempting to preserve its surfing market, as researchers fear they may, quote, "lose their waves." From BBC, quote, "Unfortunately, because of climate change, coastal erosion, and competition for coastal spaces, the elements that make these high-quality waves possible are in many occasions in danger," explained Anna Monero, an expert in water economics and governance at ANU's Crawford School of Public Policy, end quote. The experts are searching for a solution. Some have proposed government-mandated protections, such as artificial reefs and restrictions on dredging. To Germany, where the nation has begun to take a harder stance on immigration. Government officials are responding to the wishes of many German people in preparations for next year's federal elections. From Reuters, quote, "The government has also designated a scheme enabling authorities to reject more migrants directly at the German borders," Fraser said, without adding details on the controversial and legally fraught move. The restrictions are part of a series of measures Germany has taken to toughen its stance on irregular migration in recent years, following a surge in arrivals, in particular peoples fleeing from war and poverty in the Middle East, end quote. With ADF rising in the polls within different states, it has raised concern among certain social democrats within the current governing body. Venezuela's opposition leader, Edmundo Gonzalez, has found shelter in Madrid as he fled from political oppression after the July elections. From BBC, quote, "Prior to his departure, an arrest warrant had been issued in Venezuela, with the government accusing him of conspiracy and forging documents, among other serious crimes. Thanking his supporters for expressions of solidarity and confirming his arrival in Spain, Mr. Gonzalez said, 'My departure from Caracas was surrounded by episodes of pressure, coercion, and threats that wouldn't allow him to leave,' end quote. President Maduro still claims the election was legitimate and that his opposition had been conspiring against him. This is a story that we've returned to 3 times now. It seems as though that there's not going to be much change, though this opposition move and housing him in Spain does lend some hope to the movement trying to dequalify Maduro's results and make sure that the pressure from the international community continues to mount. And with all that said, if you want to check out this episode on the RSS feed or the YouTube channel, go right ahead. All the links are down in the description, so you can check it out on Spotify, Pocket Cast, Podvine. Also down there is the Twitter handle at Your Daily Flip, where I post a Twitter tirade every Tuesday and Thursday, same day as this, same time. And the podcast comes out on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, over on the RSS feed and at the YouTube channel. So with all that said, there's only one more thing to say. Stay safe, don't die.